right, so I already started the notes for you guys, but just we're going to record it, so here it goes again. When you see x is greater than 2, that's going to be an open circle, and we're going to shade to the right. We see x is less than 2, then it's going to be an open circle still, and we're going to shade to the left. If we see x is greater than or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle, and we're going to shade to the right because it's still greater than. And then x is less than or equal to 2, less than or equal to. When you see that, then it's going to be a closed circle, and we're going to shade to the left. Less is always going to be to the left. So inequality signs, the way I like to think about them is this. You have an inequality sign and the equal sign, and they got together and they had a baby, and now it's less than or equal to. Less than, equal to, together, less than or equal to. Okay? Alright. So this first section, 1 through 8, is just graphing using the notes from above. So right here it says P is what then 2? Greater than. So if I had a number line, might as well put 2 right in the middle. Then this would be 3, 4, 5, and so on. 1, 0, -1, and so on. We said greater than is going to be an open circle, so put an open circle where 2 is in our number line. I'm also going to be using highlighters if you want to get some. And then greater than, all the numbers that are greater than 2 are to what side of the circle? To the right. So 3, 4, 5, all of those are bigger than or greater than 2. Do not color in the circle. What this says is that any number greater than 2 would make this true except 2. Okay? So it's everything to the right except 2. Number 2, M is Angel. M is what then -6? Acosta. M is less than. So put a -6. I don't need the rest of the numbers as long as that one's there. Bless you. Gabriela, open or close circle? Open circle. Maxine, we shade to the right or to the left? To the left is correct. If you don't have a highlighter, you can just put an arrow going to the left, an arrow going to the right. Alright, number 3. B is what, Santiago, then 18? B is, very good, less than or equal to 18. Brandon, open or close circle? Close, right? Equal to, that means it includes the 18. 18 would make the inequality true, but anything less than 18 would also make the inequality true. So for sure you want to color this one in. K is what, Matthew Hernandez, then -24. What is it? Thank you. Greater than or equal to -24. Put the -24 in the middle. Xander, open a close circle. Close. Carlos Mesa, we shade to the right or to the left? Greater than? Greater than is always to the right. If you don't remember, always look up. Okay. Okay. Now, it helps us out to read this if you think of the inequality sign like a mouth. If it's opening to the 18, then 18 is bigger, and since the inequality sign is always hungry, then 18 is going to be the bigger one, so V is going to be the less than. Does that make sense? b is less than 18. Now watch out for 5 compared to 3 and 4. What is the difference between 5 and 4? Okay. Now the variables on the right and the numbers on the left. So that's where this comes in handy. If you're thinking of it as a mouse, it always eats the bigger number. So then 105 is greater than r. So r is what? R must be less. So when you do this, make sure that you always read from the variable. Since r is on this side of the inequality, then r is less than 105. Oops, open circle, 105, less than, to the left, less is left, right? Well, number 6, Lindsay, y is what the -3? Y is what the -3? What should I put here? Okay, see how it's opening to the y? It's eating the y? That must be that y is what? Yes. Even though it looks like it's the less than sign, you always read from the variable, and since it's eating the y, then y is greater than -3. So just watch out for that. Be careful. Angel, please open or close circle. Open. Fabricio, we shade to the right or to the left? To the greater than is to the right. Okay. For the sake of time, we're going to skip 7 and 8. So that was just a little practice on how to graph inequalities. If you get stuck, please go back and read your notes up here. Number 9. Alright, so number 9 is more what your homework looks like. We're going to have to solve the inequality. So our inequality sign here is going to be kind of like our equal sign before when we were solving regular equations. So copy it down here. K plus 5 is greater than -12. So now we have an inequality instead of an equal sign, so put your line going down right here. My goal is still the same when I'm solving. I want to get the variable by itself. Just like up here we had it by itself. So I want k by itself. So I'm going to start where k is, and then we're going to have to do what here so we can start solving. Matthew Ramos. Very good. Subtract for 5. If I do to one side of the inequality, I do to the other. Subtract to 5. Same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. So same signs, add them, and keep the sign. K is what, Giselle? The -17? Greater than. Okay. Circle. Oops, I was supposed to ask open or close circle. It's open. -17. Kaylee, we shade to the. Oh. Dominic, we shade to the right. Okay. So this is not that hard if you follow the same steps we've been following from solving. For the sake of time, I'm skipping 10. Let's go to the back side. Yes. Yes. Well, look, all the numbers that are greater than, see, if we keep going this way, this would be -16, -15, so on. Eventually you would get to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all the ones to the right are going to be greater than -17. Right? Okay? Alright, turn it over. So backside, we have examples of multiplication and division. Let's skip to number 3. Copy number 3 so we can start solving it. 3.4b is less than or equal to -28.22. Make your line going down the inequality, and we're going to solve. Alan, if I want to get v by itself, that means I start on the left. What do we have to do? Very good. It is touching, that's multiplication, so the opposite is to divide by 3.4. If I divide on one side, I divide on the other. b is less than or equal to negative 8.3. Jesus, v is what then? Negative 8.3. Okay, it is eating the 8.3, so it's less than. You missing something? Less than or equal to. Remember, they had a baby, so equal to also is there. Negative 8.3. Put your 8.3 here. Michelle, open or close circle. Open or close circle. The equal to. Close. All right, we're going to shade to which side is there to know today? To know? Yeah. Shade to the. Yep, less is left is less. There you go. All right, now check this out. There's actually something different on number 4. So let's put some little eyes because we're going to come back and look at this. It's very important for us to know this. Let's start solving and then I'll stop you when we get there. Put your line going down. D, if I want to solve for W, what do I start with? You divide, right? They're touching, so that's multiplication. The opposite is to divide. The exact same number. Divide by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is positive 1. 1 times W is just W. Negative 76 divided by negative 4 is positive 19. All right, very important. I need you to flip the inequality sign. It was opening to the right. Now it's going to open to the left. Yep. This is something very important and that only happens when we do inequality. So I need you to put a little note up here. If you divide or multiply by, very important, by a negative number, then flip the inequality sign. If you divide by a negative number or multiply by a negative number, you have to flip the sign. So this is W is greater than, because the sign flip, or equal to 19. That's going to be a closed circle, and greater than shades to the right. Why do we not flip the sign on number 3? Say it, Janelle. Okay, we divide it. Very good. See, the one we divided by, even though the originally was a negative, that negative 28, the number we actually divided by was positive. So we didn't flip the inequality sign. But here, the one we're dividing by, meaning the negative 4, the one that's on the bottom, that's negative, that flips. So that's the difference between 3 and 4. No, we don't flip it. Yes, we flip it. Let's do an example with a fraction just to get those out of the way. Got to get in a good habit of solving those. Make your line going down the middle. Into a costa. Do you remember how to get rid of a fraction? Very good. Multiply by the reciprocal. Negative 6 over 7. Flip it. Negative 7 over 6. That's the reciprocal. Bless you. If I do it on one side, I multiply on the other. Since the original was negative, I have to multiply by a negative. You multiply by a 7 and divide by a 7. Those cancel out. If you multiply by a 6 and divide by a 6, those cancel out to give me a 1. Negative times a negative is a positive. Multiply fractions across. That'll give me negative 21 over 24. I can simplify that to, anybody? 7 over 8. Do I flip the inequality sign? Who says yes? Raise your hand. Who says no? Raise your hand. Alright, the answer is yes. When you multiply by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. It has to flip. It was opening to the right, now it's opening to the left. T is less than or equal to negative 7/8. So I'm going to put negative 7/8 here. It is going to be a closed circle, and less is always left. Alright, last example. Change this one. Let's make it C divided by negative 12 plus 2 is greater than or equal to 5. Make your line going down to separate the inequality from left to right. Gabriela, if I want to start solving for C, what do I have to do? Minus 2. Subtract the 2. Subtract the 2. Inequality sign, 5 minus 2 is 3. Bring down your left side, C over negative 12. Now what do I have to do, Maxine, to get C by itself? By negative 12. You're going to multiply by negative 12. So that a negative divided by a negative or times, when you're multiplying by 12 and dividing by negative 12, they're both negative, gives me a positive C. And then 3 times negative 12, negative 36. Do I flip the inequality sign? Yes, we do. Very good. Flip the inequality sign because we multiplied by a negative 12. That would have been a positive 12, then I wouldn't have to flip it. C is less than or equal to negative 36, right? Because it's eating the 36, so C must be smaller than 36. Negative 36, closed circle because it also has the equal to, so it includes the 36. And less is always left. Alright, let's take a look at our homework. Our homework is page 15. Extra credit, page 16. I want us to go over a problem together. I believe it's number 6, that there's variables on both sides. Since we didn't have an example in the notes, then I'll just help you with that one. So page 15, it's our homework. Here, I'm going to put it here because I don't want to write on this. Alright. And so page 15, number 6. Can somebody read it to me? Okay. Now, in order for me to solve this, I cannot solve if I have 2 variables, right? I can only solve if I have 1 variable. So I cannot have both on each side. So let's cancel the one on the right. How do I get rid of this 6h? Very good, by subtracting. 6h minus 6h is 0. So I no longer have an h on the right side. We're not trying to break these apart. I'm just trying to cancel out the H so there's not two H's. Remember, I can't have two husbands, so I need to eliminate one. So we're going to cancel one on the right. And if I do it to one side, we do it to the other. That way, these are like terms and they'll combine, and I'm only left with one H. And then the H on the right is no longer there. It already combined on the left. So we're good. Now 1 times H is just H. So there's my answer. So don't get freaked out if you have variables on both sides. Cancel it out. On the right is easier. Sometimes it'll be easier on the left, but I like to stick to the right. If there's a negative sign, you never want your variable to be negative, so you'd have to divide by a -1. But if you do divide by a negative, then remember to flip it. This is H is greater than or equal to 0. So go ahead and put a 1 on your number line. It is equal to, so it is going to be open or close. Close, and we're going to shade to the right. Greater than is always to the right. Alright guys, assignment page 15, extra credit 16, yes?